Good morning and welcome to DBS This Morning. My name is Jaka Wooding and I will be joining you as you get into the beginning of your day. Of course, I think you already decided to start it off the right way by joining us here, so you made a great choice. Let's make sure that you wake up in the know and check out our morning news highlights. And that's a wrap for our morning news highlights. Thank you very much to our dedicated news team for keeping us well informed about what is happening here in St. Lucia. Right now, we are heading to a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more of the content that you love. So don't move. We'll see you in a sec. Welcome back, DBS. Now, I think we have a segment here that brings me a special amount of pride, especially on the heels of Javon and I's experimental series that we did for Independence this year. We are actually highlighting St. Lucians here and across the world who we say were doing great things. And I feel like that is pretty on par, on the ball with Beyond Ionola, what you have been doing. So, hello, Mandy. Hello, Marlon. How are you both doing today?
Hello, Jacka.
Doing very well, thank you. The sun's out, so that's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty hot, but we're talking about a hot topic now too.
Honestly.
So, all right. So beyond Ionola, I know you've been doing a lot of great stuff. We've been seeing the publications. So for anybody who may not be familiar, take us into Beyond Ionola.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having us. Beyond Ionola is a diaspora-focused organization. We are currently based in London, where we both live, and we seek to sort of mobilize the might of the diaspora. That's how I like to put it. We like to mobilize the might of diaspora towards in-country development. So anything to do with a positive vibe that can help St. Lucia develop in any way, we're all about that. We have worked with quite a few organizations seeking to find out what they can do towards helping St. Lucia work towards its own goals. The Sustainable Development Goals are one of the things that we are looking at in terms of ensuring that come 2030, St. Lucia has made great strides towards achieving a lot of them, or making progress towards achieving a lot of those Sustainable Development Goals. We believe that we are a wonderful set of people. We are not just sun, sea and sand. We have intellect, we have cultural development. We have so much about us that the world can benefit from, but also that we can benefit from. And we just need to pick those places and those persons who are ready to support at home and help them do that. So that's a lot of what we've been doing.
All right, amazing stuff. I always say, if you had to really put on paper or put into words the number of St. Lucians we have across the world who are changing the world, it would be unbelievable. I mean, you know what? I might have to write a book, but
There's a book in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a book in there somewhere. That's a discussion for after the interview. But it's so amazing that you would be taking the time to do this, because a lot of the times we think we're a small island, we may not see the impact that we have globally. But there's countries making strides, and sometimes it's St. Lucians who are leading these organizations and St. Lucians who are bringing forward these ideas. And why not, capitalize on that and bring it home as well? So how long has Beyond Ionola been established, and what has your work been like so far?
So Beyond Ionola started around 2014 as an idea. We have always been supporting all organizations, both here and at home, from St. Lucia National Trust, Blind Welfare, etc., as best as we can to achieve their aims. But around 2016, 2017, at the time when the National Trust subvention was curtailed, we really came into our own, because we recognized that the diaspora didn't know or didn't understand what was happening. So we took it upon ourselves to run some information sessions just so that people got to know a little more about St. Lucia culture, what National Trust was about. And we worked with what we call her Auntie June, June Frederick, and spoke about masquerade. We had a games night and connected on a different level with the diaspora. We met so many persons that day. We realized that that something else needed to happen. It couldn't die that day, and then we constituted Beyond Dianola. One of the things that we are really focused on is a way of immortalizing the interests and capturing what is happening. So we've started writing publications in 2020, just as the pandemic was hitting. We thought instead of going out to party for independence, we would write about independence. And that's literally how it started. And we wrote about quite a few St. Lucians within the UK who were doing their own thing, but doing it really well, and were contributing positively to society. You didn't need to have a business, you didn't need to have any big job. It's just, what were you doing, and what do you think were the things that you could contribute to home? And that is how we started. And then we continued with the Focus, apart from Focus 2020, we're now doing the Beyond Dianola Digest. Mm-hmm.
So we put out a publication every 3 months, continue to highlight the work of and the contributions that St. Lucians make all over the world. The last one, we featured a lovely lady we met called Luces. She's a seamstress. She's a fashion designer. And she had a launch recently, so we supported her with that as well. So it's been really good to meet different St. Lucians, people from various backgrounds, but also what it does, or it has done, is to allow us to network with other people who then we can share their details with fellow St. Lucians who have utilized their services. Our logo, for instance, was designed by one of the people we featured in one of our publications. So it's been really good to be able to have that network of St. Lucians that we can tap into, because, I mean, first and foremost, we should be looking to our own before we look outside. So it's been really good to be able to do that.
Absolutely. I think I need to give Vaughn Constable a shout out. He looked at the logo and thought, I'm going to do this differently. And he did. And we are really pleased with his interpretation of Beyond Dianola, looking out over the Pitons and thinking, what else is there that we can do to help make St. Lucia better?
I really love how you mentioned tapping into the network of St. Lucians, because let's just, not to be boastful or anything, but St. Lucia has a history of intelligence. St. Lucia has a history of knowledgeable people, and that has carried on through generations. Yes, gone are the days of the Sir Arthur Lewis and the Derek Walcotts, but there are new minds, and there may be more Nobel Prizes coming.
Absolutely.
I would never say that St. Lucia is not a place to look to for answers. So I guess you've identified that, and you've identified the fact that within our circles, if we can contact each other, because it's not that the information isn't there. If we're in contact with each other, we'd be able to access it.
Absolutely. So if we give a few examples, we have Sylvester Herman, who's based in Scotland. He's developed his own rum distillery, focusing on St. Lucian products and utilizing them to make different types of whiskies and rums. And he's used his artisan focus to ensure that he's celebrating St. Lucia through and through. And he has collaborated with other persons like Island Food with Vibes, Jermaine Delors, who is a chef, and utilize his skills in order to ensure that we are networking and building businesses that are sustainable. We've got Mia from My Hair. She does extraordinary things with natural hair. There's so many that we could highlight. There's Julius Monero, who runs a bakery in the middle of Dalston in East London, and his cousin who does black dolls, Sandra Monero. I'm just trying to think of who else we can think of the top of our head. Oh, and there's the fantastic, ex-teacher who's written Shantae's World.
Oh, yes.
So she has done, and I'm sure you've heard of her, Matherine Emmanuel, and she's now basically touring with her book and the movie, and hopefully she'll be in London by the end of the year to do a premiere there. So we have St. Lucians who are doing wonderful things, extraordinary things. Our very first logo was designed by Cheeky Max, Tyrone Henry, and I think he's based out of Canada. And he's doing wonderful things over there in terms of digital media and digital print. One of the persons we showcased, Crystal from the House of Chantel, and Marshall Celestine from Never Give Up. clothing. All after we featured them, they ended up going to Dubai Expo
Expo,
20.
yes.
Exactly. So there are ways in which we can just tap into what exists, showcase it, because we have a lot to give. We have a lot to give. Our people are fantastic, and I don't see why we can't find a way to map who we are. Let everybody know we are St. Lucia and we are here. We may be small, but we are mighty, and there's so much we have to offer. If I had my way, we wouldn't be buying anything from anybody that isn't St. Lucia, because I know deep down that every single where there is a St. Lucian who provides that service.
Absolutely.
So why are we going for other people? We recently went down to Dennery to support the St. Lucia Cadet Corps and gave prizes for the passing out parade for the most improved cadet, who was Cyril. I'll have to think about his name. Sergeant Cyril. And for the two most improved female cadets, Sienna and we'll have to remember their names. So two most improved cadets. And it was just a pleasure to see the young people coming out, doing their best on a day in the middle of the rain, not complaining. It was a wonderful event. And if anybody wants to see that, it's on my Facebook page, Mandy Prayville Finley. Just search for me and you will be able to follow that entire ceremony. The other thing that I think that we are missing out on are opportunities to liaise with outside agencies like the International Organization for Migration, like the International Center for Migration and Policy Development, because we, just in our own curiosity, has found out so much. And there are persons out there willing to support St. Lucia, but it's the time and the capacity to do it. So how do we harness those persons out there who are willing to volunteer, give their time, or maybe just make another niche for them, because they have the skills and the wherewithal to get us what we need. So that's one of the things on our minds.
All right, she said some of the things, but that was a lot of things. I mean, you are doing amazing work. Of course, we know how to get in contact with you on social media, but how can we get in contact with Beyond Ayanola, and how can we get involved if we'd like to work with you?
Oh, fantastic. Beyond Ayanola is on all social media platforms. Just search for Beyond Ayanola on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. But all our publications are based on Issue. So we have it on the Facebook page, but we also have it on the platform called Issue. And if you just search for issue.com /Beyond Ayanola, you will find our 17 publications there. And we're hoping to do a few more. You can email us at beyondayanola, beyondayanola@gmail.com, or you can call us and I will furnish you with all the necessary phone numbers in a minute. Yes, so just call, DM, text, WhatsApp, drop us a line on Instagram, and we'll be in touch. And we are looking for persons to collaborate with who are ready to collaborate. We have spoken with a few schools around the country, including the OJ Combined, because we are about female empowerment as well. I'm hoping to speak with Kathleen Carew and a few other persons in order to ensure that there is a legacy from the bottom up, because I am about the little ones. And we do believe that if we can empower our children, then they grow up to be the people that we know will keep us sustained.
All right, you know what? Before we close off, I just wanted to share with you an idea, because you did mention the St. Lucian businesses across London, across the UK. I mean, they pop up in every single country. You can't tell me there's anywhere I'll go and not be able to find at least one St. Lucian there doing something. Correct. You know, we're resilient. Imagine a tour of London, maybe tailored for St. Lucians or members of the diaspora who are trying to connect with their culture so that they can visit different St. Lucian stores.
I'm loving that idea. I am loving that idea. And we had a conversation with the Ambassador for Diaspora Affairs yesterday, talking about the very way of how do we map what's happening out there in a sustainable way. Within the UK and the EU, there's something called GDPR, which is basically looking at data protection. Yeah. So whatever we do, we have to be very careful in terms of mapping anything, the lots of laws that we've got to follow. Yeah. So we would need to ensure that whatever we do is sustainable and done in the correct manner. So we have started that conversation with the Ambassador, Julian Dubois, about how do we go about working through how we map from the UK and work ourselves out wider. And he has been very receptive to that discussion.
All right, amazing. Well, seems like we have further discussions to have as well. As of right now, we're wrapping up and we're going into a quick commercial break. Again, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Welcome back, DBS. Now, aside from the beautiful artwork behind me, I'm sure you see a familiar face. Right now, we're here with Dr. Keith Nurse from the Arthur Lewis Community College. Of course, he is the principal. And every time we touch base with him, you know that the college is up to something wonderful. Dr. Nurse, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great. I'm here at the exhibition, and it's fabulous.
All right. So, of course, we had touched base with you at the first exhibition that was held at the college's Innovation Hub. And then after that, during Emancipation, I believe the exhibition would have been taken down to Viewfort. So what has the experience been like so far, and what has the feedback been like to the college regarding the exhibition?
Well, it's been a bit of a surprise for us, and a great one at that there's been so much interest in the visual arts exhibition. And in respect, we have now touched, at least 3 of the 4 corners of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And so coming north now to Gros-Islet offers us another opportunity to have great works by St. Lucians on exhibit. And we need to be thankful to the OAS, the CDF, and the other collaborators, and now even the Gros-Islet mayor has come on board to support the process. So clearly there's some momentum, and the goal is to keep pushing in this direction so that we build a stronger marketplace for the arts in general, but also to ensure that what we are doing in terms of training links to this process.
All right. And speaking of momentum, that is the word I think of when I think of the Arthur Lewis Community College right now. Of course, recently there would have been the pitch competition taking place alongside the government of Taiwan for local entrepreneurs. So we see the college intensifying its efforts to get people out there, to give St. Lucians an opportunity to put themselves and their businesses and their ideas out for the world to see. Where does the college intend to take this further?
Well, what you're referring to is our upskilling academy, which again has been a tremendous success. Again, way beyond our original expectations. It has 3 components. There's a vocational training component, and we've had, I think we're now into our 3rd cohort of people who are being trained in 4 distinct areas. But we also have an incubator for people who want to set up businesses or have early stage businesses. And then the next phase is an accelerator. Both the incubator and the accelerator comes with some seed capital for those businesses that are deemed to be successful and can move on. So that's a bit of a game changer, because traditionally we train people in entrepreneurship and then that's it. What we are doing that's different, that in fact generates greater value added, is that we are building out capacities to take people closer to the marketplace, and if they're already in the marketplace, to provide them with better business coaching to improve their survivability and success ratio. And so really, the Upskilling Academy, many thanks to the Taiwanese embassy and the ICDF, has ensured that we build this momentum and take it to another level. It's a very solid program, if I may say so myself.
Absolutely, and I got the chance to speak to some of the persons participating in the program right now, and they were just over the world that they could get that type of opportunity in St. Lucia. So honestly, we are just looking out right now to see what the college will do next, but I'm sure DBS will get a call, so we'll be right there beside you. Thank you so much for this interview.
It's been a pleasure, and thanks very much for covering all of our events, because really, it's been a huge support from the Taiwanese, from other stakeholders, from the government of St. Lucia and their Youth Economy Initiative, which is a very brilliant concept. And yes, we are very gratified with the support. Thank you.
Yes, now while we take in some great music in the background, we're touching base with Lily Ching, the OAS representative to St. Lucia, because of course the OAS is collaborating as part of this event. We know that you've been working with Sir Arthur Lewis, and actually the long journey of this art exhibition actually started off with the art competition that was launched earlier on this year. So what's it been like being on this entire journey with Arts in St. Lucia?
It has been incredible. To me, it has been a great learning experience. We came out with the idea in March. It was an art exhibition. At that time, we were wondering, is this, are people going to be interested? Is this going to be something that really Lucians enjoy? And we got great engagement in March. We got the competition in March. We got the exhibition in the framework of the Inter-American Week for Descendants. And then we started moving towards emancipation and just trying to bring together more artists and go to different places, right? So for the emancipation celebrations, we went to Vieux Fort and we got together with the Anglican Church and Caribbean Tides. And it was wonderful because we first had it at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College in Castries. Then we moved to the south, so we went to Vieux Fort. And now we are relaunching it with the concept of Indigenous Peoples Week, because we were celebrating the International Day for Indigenous Peoples on the 9th of August. And it has been a real learning experience because this is going to be the third time this year. But we have tried to be, and I don't know if you can tell the difference, we have tried to have music. We're trying to support the local artists. We're also here on a Friday night. Grosile is very well known for Friday nights. So we're trying to, we spoke to hotels, we have tourists coming in. So we're trying to make this a more comprehensive experience, not only for locals, but also for tourists, so that they can learn a little bit of the culture, maybe buy a piece, and also hopefully then go to Grosile and have some fish.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you're going to go into Grosile and buy some fish as well.
I am hoping for that too.
All right. So having had so much exposure to St. Lucian arts through the exhibitions especially, I have to ask, I feel like there's been enough time. What are your views on the artistic capabilities that St. Lucia has expressed?
Look around. Look at this. I mean, the artistic, you look behind me and you hear the drums. If you were here, you listen to a lady who was a poem and a singer. She was, you see what we have here, and then you think, what's going to happen for the next time? What's going to happen for the fourth exhibition that we're going to put together, and who's going to come in? I would also like to engage with more artists because, at the beginning people were like, how is this really good for me? Is this going to give me? But, we are learning. We're all learning in the process, and we're trying to make this something that works for everybody, not only to make sure that the cultural aspects are there, but also that the artists get exposure and that the hotels know about the event so the tourists can also come and learn about the art and maybe take a piece home.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us, Lily. It's been an absolute pleasure being on this journey with Sir Arthur Lewis and the OAS, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you again soon at the fourth exhibition.
Oh, how much pressure. But yeah, I hope we can continue to have more initiatives. Thank you for coming along. It was, as we said at the beginning, in March, it sounded like a crazy idea, but look at it. I'm really happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's Soca Size session. Leading the wine, we have Suzanne from Studio Fit and Healthy 911 and myself, Shani, from Soca Size St. Lucia. Let's get ready to flaunt with Soca Size. This morning's workout is a cardio soca jam routine to Eat Man Money by Frost. Let's do this. Hey, let's go.
Now man, if she spend it,
No lawyer.
no lawyer can defend it.
Next time.
Can be broke if she buy sick.
Woo. Hey,
She go spend all your money.
take the arms up. Let's go.
myself, I wonder why.
Next side.
But no matter how I save,
4,
feel like
3,
she gon' put me
2,
in the grave.
take it up, and
Money always spending. Me back I come to
3,
drinking.
2, next
But at
side.
the end of the day, hear what
4,
old people
3,
say.
1, 2,
Check the
3.
vibe. God made man.
Hey.
Man made money.
Hey.
God made woman to eat
Let's
man
go.
money. Now my she spend it.
No liar.
No lawyer can defend it.
Get me broke.
Can be broke if she buy see. She could spend all your money.
Take the arms up. Let's go. Four, 3, 2, 1, and
All fellas playing macho. Spending endless money like
2,
whoa.
1.
Women have their bars hoodie. Going to fast cash to get money.
Take it up,
Like
and
they can't see a skirt pass. Dropping lines even if it brass.
next side.
Forgetting what people say. Have enough man
This side.
suffering
1,
today
2, 3,
because
and
God made man.
Hey.
Man made money.
Hey.
God made woman to eat
Now
man
next.
money. Now like if she spend it,
Hour.
no lawyer can defend it.
Get me broke.
Can be broke if she buy see.
Woo.
She go spend all your money.
Now back.
Now like if she spend it,
No lawyer.
no lawyer can defend it.
Hour.
Can be broke if she buy see.
We will spend.
She go spend all your money.
God made.
God made man.
Hey.
Man made money. God made woman to eat man money.
God made.
God made man. Man made money. God made woman to eat
Now-
man money.
Hey.
Now like if she spend it,
No lawyer.
no lawyer can defend it.
Get me broke.
Can be broke if she buy see.
She will spend.
She go spend all your money.
Take it up. Hey. To the end. 4, 3, 2, 1. Every cent.
And with that, we have come to the end of today's show. Sometimes I feel like it passes by so quickly, but I do hope that you spent enough time with us that you are ready to approach your day with the best energy possible. Now, before you go out, I need to share with you today's thought for the day, and that is, never be afraid to accept that you need a break. Sometimes you do need to know your limits and know when your body needs time to rest and rejuvenate itself. So the next time you step out, you can approach whatever you need to do with the most energy, power, and passion. Have an amazing day, and remember, take a break if you need to. If you need somebody to give you a go ahead in your head, think about me and think about that DBS guarantee. Keep your mental health front of mind at all times. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.